So the next step would be to invoice the job. So once the job is ready to be invoiced, we can simply click on the customer invoice button. Exactly the same idea as the packing slip. We are going to do the header part of the invoice and then the details. So again, we want to generate a new invoice. We simply pick the job that we want to invoice. So there's that job right there. It's done the header part of the document for us. You can click on the save. We have a couple of buttons up here we could use. We could click on the delivery button to see how many were actually shipped to the customer, so we would know how many to bill. We have the profile button so that we could check that if we billed them more than the order, do they accept overs? It might be bad enough that we already shipped them too many. The last thing we want to do is also annoy them by billing them for that as well. So we can access the profile information. We also have a history button for invoicing. You can do multiple billings against one particular job. So if it's a big job, you want to know exactly where you are with the billing, you can click on there and see what has been billed to date. Once we're happy with the header part of the document, we can click on the detail button, and that will take us into the details. And again, this whole idea of doing an estimate, and once the estimate is done, we're going to flow the information automatically through to order entry, into shipping, into billing. So basically, it brings over the information, the estimated cost. We can change these things. If for some reason the cost changed, you can change it at invoicing. You're not stuck with what was started in estimating. We can delete lines. So if I want to delete that line, I can simply go in and delete that line. If I want to change this line, I can simply change that line, and I can prepare my invoice. We can have different unit types, so we can have lot, per thousand, hundreds, each, whichever way you want to bill things. We can have different GL accounts that can come over automatically, but again, you can change them. Right here, you can have default tax statuses for each customer. So we allow you to have up to 3 tax levels, federal, state, city, or county. If your customer, if this particular customer is normally exempt on all of those, that information is entered in their customer file. They will come over as exempt. But if for some reason they do need to be charged taxes on this particular line item of an invoice, you can assign the taxes on that particular line item. So you still have full flexibility on every line item of every invoice to do what you want. So let's say we decided to ship them 15,000, put in the pricing per thousand, and it will calculate our cost for that. So once we have all our line items, our invoice exactly the way we want it, we can preview it to make sure it is what we think it's going to look like. So we have our invoice, puts our logo in there, and we can either do a whole bunch of invoices and then print them all at one time, or we can do an invoice and print it right away. Now again, when we print, so let's just finalize this invoice. When I do that, it will print the invoice. It will also generate an email and attach a PDF of the invoice to that email. So the minute you produce your invoice in our system, your customer is getting a PDF of that invoice. You can see it also generates an email automatically to go to the customer, and it attaches a PDF of the invoice to this particular email. And so that's the invoice. Now, the invoicing will also send that information to your third-party accounting system. So the most common ones are QuickBooks and Peachtree, but we integrate in with many accounting systems. Or if you have an accounting system that we don't integrate in with, as long as you can get us the file format your accounting system needs, we can generally add it to our system and put the invoices out. So there is no rekeying of the invoice from the Dienamic system into the accounting system, but once the invoice is in your accounting system, everything else accounting-wise is done in your accounting system. So again, we're just saving that time and possible errors of taking one document and rekeying it into another part of your system.